Your speakers turn them up, boom, the reefer burn it up. Cause vibe reactions in the building, we for certain love. The king of this reaction thing, and it's curtains for a fool that think it coming at the team, it ain't hurting us. True, I'm a vibe like Ray, and that's my brother and them. He love it when you go monkey with them bars, and it's my jungle gym. There's laughter in reality, whenever Brody's streaming, keep it real and don't be scheming. Yo, he's actually no cap with it, so follow vibe reaction.
What is good, Vibe Gang? It is your boy Ray here with another one. Shout out to Dalisa for the dono. Sorry that it took so damn long, but I'm here. Please, Dalisa, put the one. I sent it to you on IG. I don't know if you got the message yet, but put the music one down on this comment, and then I'll do that one tomorrow. I got you. Write this down and take it home to mama, the infamous Sen.John Kennedy. This is my man. I love this dude. All the videos that I've watched of him and everything going against everybody that is. Let's just get into the video. We got a lot to talk about with this one, so we're gonna get into it. I ain't gonna go to a early rant for no reason. Federico, cut the beat. Senator John Kennedy, it is on you. Write this down and take it home to mama. Defends Trump federal grants pause.
Senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. With me this evening, Mr. President, is Mr. Nick Ayers, who is one of my colleagues in my office, on whose judgment, counsel, and advice I rely regularly. Mr. President, as you know, on any given day, the halls of the Senate office buildings and the Capitol itself are teeming with people. We have a lot of visitors, which is a great thing. We have a lot of staff members, very able. We obviously have 100 senators. And we have many, did I mention many, members of the press. And today, many of those folks, not the tourists.
Why you rocking them flags for, bro?
Excuse me, Mr. President.
He's waving his flag, bro.
Today, many of those folks, not the members of the public, our visitors, our people who are visiting us, but some staff members, some senators, and some members of the media have been catatonic. Catatonic. They've been foaming at the mouth. And it all has to do with a simple memorandum issued by the Office of Management and Budget dealing with spending. And I want to talk about that for a few minutes, Mr. President, and try to put it in perspective. I thought about starting my talk today off by saying, if it weren't for double standards around this place, there wouldn't be any standards at all. And actually, that's true, but that's too cynical for the point I want to make today. The point I want to make today is that in Congress, we're headed for a multiple vehicle pileup. A multiple vehicle pileup, which I will describe in a moment. And it's going to be messy. And dealing with it is going to be messy. And we've got to deal with it in accordance with the Constitution and our laws as passed by Congress. But we're also going to have to try to do some things a different way. And it's not going to be altogether pretty. Now, we can all debate I haven't met a dummy yet in the United States Senate. Some people would disagree with that, but that's been my experience. Every single member of this body is very clever. And they can get us bogged down in procedure and debate forever about how many lawyers can dance on the head of a pin. And all that's important. I've done it myself before. But we're also dealing with reality. Did I mention we're dealing with a multiple vehicle pileup? Mr. President, I remember back when President Obama was president, he repeatedly refused to enforce laws that he didn't like. When certain provisions, I remember it like it was yesterday, when certain provisions of the Affordable Care Act proved to be controversial, it was law. But some of those provisions of law that he passed were controversial. I'll give you an example. The mandate that large employers provide insurance to their employees or else pay a big penalty. President Obama just unilaterally delayed implementation. Said, I'm not going to enforce it. Nobody went catatonic around here.
Because it's
Nobody
not.
started.
But that's the thing about it is when what we're fighting right now is every time Trump does something, even if former presidents try doing the same thing and it didn't come to fruition. Donald Trump is now doing it. Now it's the most horriblest fucking thing in the world. So where was that energy when everybody else was trying to do it? See, you gotta keep the same energy on what you like and what you don't like. That's the problem. The extreme left are no longer looking at policies no more. They no longer are looking at any of that. They're looking at, I hate Trump. So hating Trump means anything attached to it, any idea attached to it, anything focused on anything that is positive for Trump is either a lie, bullshit, it's gonna be bad, we need to get him out of here. The extreme left are over here saying we need to take it to the streets, we need to be violent, we need to do this, we need to do that. No one is peeping. Where are the media talking about him? Why aren't they? It takes these TikTokers that are willing to put their life in the middle of the bullshit and record these fucking crazy people talking nuts and putting their life at risk. Y'all all soft. Like wet flowers. Keep the same energy in what you like and what you don't dislike. I am about policy. Everything that Trump said that he's going to do, not only did I agree with, but he's doing. This is what a lot of people sound like. Watch. You want to watch. I don't like Trump because look at his policies. I'm not going to vote for him. Fuck Trump. Fuck all that. I don't like it. Trump is doing what he's doing. Since when did he say he was going to do that? When he said he was running. Look what he's doing. He's doing what he said he was going to do. What? Look at Trump. Look what Trump's doing. He said he was going to do all these things, and look, he's actually implementing them. Oh. Okay, so what's the problem? What does that mean? Trump said that he was going to send back all the illegal immigrants. Yes, he said he was going to do that. And he's doing it. Okay, so then what's the problem? Why is he doing what he said he was going to do? Dude, that's what you sound like. That's what you guys sound like. Y'all getting mad over what he said he was going to do. What he said, what 70-something% of the people of the United States were voting for. And then now they want to go and implement it and say a whole bunch of crazy thing about Elon Musk and how Elon Musk, oh, you trust Elon Musk with your money? What point of Elon's job title is to find the money? He's not, his job title is not movement or decision making of what to do with the money. Elon is an employee of the government. He is a mailman with a promotion. He's an employee a government employee. Elon Musk, find the money. Mr. President, I found the money. Okay, we'll take it from here. That's his job. And everybody in the world is saying, do you trust him? Listen, mother, like, really listen to this. If Elon Musk, sweetheart, if he wanted to take your money, why the fuck would he need to be having a government job to do so? When a hacker right now that doesn't work for the government could take your whole identity. And all they have to do is just pass by you and swipe a little machine next to your wallet and take your whole information. So if he could make rockets to not only go into space, but come back and land in a specific spot, if he has the smart and the genius behind doing all that, and the people, the genius people that he hires to come up with all this and help him build all these things, don't you think they'll be able to get into your little credit card? your little social security number with your $40,000. You think that he can't get into that? Oh, absolutely he can. He can get into that, but why the fuck would he? He's a fucking billionaire. Why the fuck does he need your money? That doesn't make any sense. But they're making it make sense to a lot of these people out here, and that's the problem. They're making that type of stupid thinking make sense, and it doesn't. The last thing in my mind, I was like, oh my God, Elon Musk is going to take my money. Like, why the fuck would he need it? Trump doesn't even take your money. Trump got money too. It's about what is making sense and what is not making sense. And now they're like, this is last chance, last opportunity. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy for the extreme left. This is the moment right now. Anything that we could get on them, or anything that we could flip or try to flip, or you make it seem like something that is not, we gotta do it. It doesn't matter. If you guys, the debate is, there's no more debate anymore. That's it. You guys are still trying to debate like it's going to change anything. It's not. He's going to be our president, and he's our president for 4 years. And that's just what's going to happen. You're fighting like it's going to, like somebody's going to impeach him and get him the fuck out of here. It's not going to happen. It really isn't. People are like, well, why isn't it happening right away? Because obviously you don't know how shit works then. It's not going to happen right away. These things are not going to fucking happen the next day. I would say in the next 1.5 to 2 years, you're going to start seeing all this shit that he's implementing now, just a few months of his freaking presidential reign. Just a few months. And all these changes that he's already made, you're going to start feeling the effects of it throughout the year to next year and throughout that year. And then you're really going to start seeing what all this is going to do. It's not going to happen from day to night. And if you expect it to happen from day to night, you're stupid for even thinking that way. Because then that feeds some of you guys out there saying, oh, when Trump was president, the only reason it was good is because Obama was president before him, and he's living off of what Obama did, or Bush, or whoever the fuck was it. And everybody's like, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But watch. Nobody was blaming the last 4 years. Last 4 years was Kamala and her man. Senior citizen Joe. He's not the president no more. Senior citizen Joe. Mr. President. No, he's still a president. You got to show him his respect. He still was our president. So you still have to show him that respect. At the end of the day, he still served the years that he served. Be our president. You got to show him. But you know what I'm saying? That's Senior Citizen Joe right there, man. Stop playing with him. Just relax, man, and enjoy the ride, bro. Enjoy the ride. Go ahead, John. Talk to you.
Foaming at the mouth. Maybe everybody had taken their meds that day. I don't know. But there was no hue and cry.
Nope.
Like we've heard today as a result of that OMB memorandum. I remember also when Congress took up the issue at President Obama's suggestion of Dreamers. Remember the Dreamers Act? Congress wouldn't pass it. Dreamers are children brought to the United States of America illegally by their parents who've come here illegally. But the children are children. They don't know better. President Obama proposed the Dreamers Act. Congress didn't pass it. So President Obama just ignored the law. He protected them from deportation through executive action. It's called the 2012 Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program.
Wow.
He broke the law. Nobody around here foamed at the mouth.
Nope.
Nobody around here went catatonic, included but not limited.
See, but John, you're doing one thing that you should not be doing, though. You're doing one thing that you should not be doing. You should not be giving them facts. Facts don't matter to them. Obviously, they've proven that it doesn't matter. Even these people, not only from the media, but some of these senators as well, they've proven that facts in their mind do not matter. They blatantly get up there and start lying under oath. They start saying things and start pick and choosing little. Look, if somebody says a full, let's say, 30,000 word paragraph or 20,000 word speech, you can take little phrases here and there and manipulate it and make it sound like something different by setting the tone and giving the meaning instead of having people listen to what they're saying. Just like January 6th, or June 6th, whatever. No, it's January 6th. To go to the Capitol. Where, in anything that Trump said, and that whole speech that it say, go over there and attempt to do harm, and go over there and fuck shit up, and hurt people, and destroy. When and where, and I need to know what's, not who said that Trump said it, or this person said. I need to know which part of that speech, because I've watched it 3-4 times maybe. And I haven't found that point where it made me feel like, oh, I should go over there and fuck shit up. I don't see it. I don't hear it. I don't know. Not even him alluding to doing anything like that. Where does he say it? Not one extreme left that interacts with me has been able to tell me that. They always go off and saying something else. They off and they'll be like, oh, well, then they'll bring up a whole nother situation because they can't bring me anything. Stating a word, him saying, go out there and do harm or do whatever. Nothing. So, facts don't matter to these people. They don't care. They will come up with their own agenda, and the problem is that they have a whole bunch of buffoons that believe their agenda. And believe the shit that comes out their mouth and wholeheartedly will go with whatever they want to say. They're like lemurs. One goes, all of them are going over that fucking bridge. They're blind leading the blind. A whole bunch of angry fucking people that didn't get their way. So right now, all they're doing is throwing a fucking tantrum. That's all they're doing, kicking and screaming. Just because they're using smart words and intellectual words and are proper, and I comb my hair to the side because I want people to think that I'm serious. And they got a fucking a patent saying that they're a senator or they're anything like that doesn't mean that they're fucking idiots. They're dumb. Look at how they act. Look how they treated every single person that Trump has brought in to his to run with him, to be part of his team. Look how the media has treated each and every one of those people with lies and bullshit, and people are believing it. So facts don't matter. John Kennedy is one of the best senators out there, but facts don't fucking matter, obviously, because I see people believing the shit with no facts, nothing. They could wholeheartedly, they could read or pull up on Google or anything like that to show how 100% accurate this is. No. Just because the person that said it holds stature to them. They put them in a pedestal, so I have to listen to what they said. They're in it. They know what they're talking about. They've been doing this for years. They're politicians for years. They've been politicians for years. Trump doesn't know none of that. So you go blind leading the fucking blind. Just because he has a title doesn't mean that he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Bring me facts. What happens when a lot of these senators come in here and start giving facts? A lot of other senators start getting really sweaty. Come on, man. You think all senators think the same? They think they're on the same? No, hell no. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
To the media. I remember when President Biden did a very similar thing. He sought to preserve and fortify DACA, as we call it. And he also took a number of steps unilaterally to weaken immigration enforcement. We know that. That's why the border under President Biden was an open bleeding wound. He refused to follow the law. Nobody foamed at the mouth around here. Members of the press didn't become catatonic. I don't remember anyone, Democrat or Republican.
You know why? You know what? Because of the kids. They use the Sympathy Act. They don't talk. Have you noticed that they don't mention the gang members, the cartel, the drug dealers, the people that are raping these our women and our daughters and killing our kids and bringing in drugs? They in their mind they bring up, oh, the hardworking ones that want to come over here and make this country better. This country was built on immigrants. Yeah, and you know what those immigrants that built our country did? They came through the front door. Why are we putting them in the same level? The people that came here legally are the ones that built this country. The ones that came illegally do benefit this country. Absolutely. The hard workers that come across that border, absolutely. The minute you cross that line illegally, you become a felon. Let's break this down a little bit. There's a 20-year-old American man. No, let's fuck that. 30-year-old American man, right? He has a 12-year-old kid. 12-year-old. Son. Since that kid was 1 year old, all he's ever seen his father do is do drugs, shoot, do all that, right? And they go out and they do a crime together. Should the father go and should the kid go and get released? Or should the kid do time too? I know that's an extreme example, but answer the question. All right then, the minute you cross that border, the parent knowingly knows that that's illegal. The parent absolutely 100% knows that them doing that, going that way, it's illegal. It's frowned upon. You could get in trouble. You could get locked up, and you can't get deported. They know the consequences of them doing that. Them grabbing their children and coming with them are putting their children in that same situation. The law's the law. We should not stop doing the law because of a certain situation. No, the law is the law. We have a front fucking door, and the door works, and it's been working for years. Everybody on the other side of this country has no choice but to come over here through the front door. Because you have a way to come in here that is easier, does not give you the right to use that way. It's a privilege if you're from another country coming down over here to the United States. Because if you don't think it's a privilege to live in the United States, then if you live in the United States right now, go to another country and tell me if you don't have a privilege living here, being part of this beautiful fucking country. It is a privilege living here. And that is just a straight fact. I've been to other countries. Trust me on that. I don't know what you guys think it is in other places, but it's not what you think it is. You got people from other countries that will give an arm and a leg for a passport to come down here. You crazy? Do it the right way, because if anybody tries to go into Mexico illegally, you know what their rules are? Deport them. Am I wrong? No, it's deport them. Okay, so if you come to my country illegally, we're going to deport you. It shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. Especially when the majority that are coming through that way are bringing drugs, are killing our American citizen, our kids. Raping and doing all types of crazy stuff. And nobody's going to pay attention. Nobody's going to bat an eye. Oh, the ones that are good, you're going to leave them fucked. Okay, then why don't you go fight with your president that said, I will accept you all back with my open arms. Because she said it. Your president said, all of those that are being deported, I will accept you with open arms. And I will hug you and lick your wounds. So since your president already said on record that she's going to help you, then go back and get help from her. The same way that if we have issues here, our government should be there to help us. But they haven't been there for 4 years. They've been helping every fucking body else but us. But when now we have to feel sorry for people? Where the fuck were people being sorry when people, our citizens, our kids were getting murdered and killed and fucking doing all this shit out here? Where was your sympathy then? To the parents that had to deal with it. Oh, because you didn't have to deal with it and you didn't have to fucking, it didn't happen to you, it's not going to affect you. So you don't give a fuck. You guys are a bunch of selfish fucking pricks and a bunch of babies that now that shit are getting changed and daddy's home, you motherfuckers can't handle it. So I would suggest with all my heart, please pack your shit up and you guys can fucking go. If you don't like it that much. Because it's going to be 4 years of a bunch of fuck shit. I should edit that, but I'm not. I should edit that, but I'm not.
Calling for President Obama's impeachment after a federal court criticized his administration for spending money unlawfully. You remember that? President Obama decided to pay subsidies to health insurers in 2014. Decided to give them money. Just one problem. Congress hadn't appropriated the money. The GOP House, the Republican-controlled House, sued him. Federal judge ruled against President Obama. But the money was spent. I remember when the GAO concluded that the Obama Health and Human Services Department in 2016 illegally spent money. Congress didn't appropriate it by paying insurers instead of sending the money to the Department of Treasury. Nobody around here foamed at the mouth, including members of the press. Nobody around here went catatonic. Now, I didn't come here today, Mr. President, to debate the take care clause of the United States Constitution. We're all familiar with it. The president has a constitutional duty
El diablo.
to, quote, take care that the laws be faithfully executed. That's the law. It's in our Constitution, bigger than Dallas, right there. And I believe in it. I didn't come here today to debate. I didn't come here today to debate the 1974 Impoundment Control Act, which the courts have ruled to be constitutional, which says that Congress gets to appropriate the money and the president has to spend it. I don't want to get into all that. But I guess my point, Mr. President, in light of this OMB memorandum, which I'll talk about in a moment, my point is that having embraced non-enforcement when they like the results under President Biden and President Obama, my Democratic friends have very little standing. None, in fact, none, zero, zilch, nada, no standing to complain when President Trump employs the same legal theory for different purposes. I'm not suggesting that we ought to follow the rule, 2 wrongs don't make it right, but they do make it even. I'm just gently suggesting that maybe I should have started this speech with, if it weren't for double standards around this place, there wouldn't be any standards at all. Let me say it again. I support the take care clause of the Constitution. And I can read the law. I know a law book from a J. Crew catalog. I know what the Impoundment Act says. And I can read the court opinions holding that it's constitutional. Now, why am I talking about all this stuff? As you know, since he's been president, I don't know, a week, 10 days, President Trump has issued about a squillion executive orders. I think it's the most executive orders issued by a president in this short period of time in the history of ever.
Right.
I'm still trying to read them. And most of his executive orders, this is a general statement, but I think it's fairly accurate, intend, as is his right, to reverse many of the policies implemented by President Biden. And I think it was yesterday, the Office of Management and Budget under President Trump, under an acting director, issued a memorandum. And the memorandum went out to all agencies of the federal government, and it said, look, you've seen the president's executive orders changing federal policy, which he has the right to issue. So hold up spending any money, OMB said to the various agencies, that would implement President Biden's policies as have been changed by President Trump. And the OMB was very careful in its initial memorandum and in its explanation later to say, look, we're not talking about direct payments to people. We're not talking about Medicaid. We're not talking about Medicare. We're not talking about Social Security. We're not talking about SNAP benefits. Very careful. Well, people around here today have been screaming like they're part of a prison riot. Oh my God.
Where are they getting
The president's not following the law. Like this had not happened before. Again, I'm not saying that 2 wrongs don't make it right, but they do make it even. I'm just trying to give you a little context for this, Mr. President. My good friend, Senator Schumer, and he is my good friend. I went on a trip with Chuck to China. And I don't want to personalize this about Chuck. Let me put it another way. Some of my Democratic friends have been running around, and some of my friends in the media have been running around like a 5-year-old in a Batman t-shirt, screaming that the world is coming to an end,
right,
and the Impoundment Act is being violated, and the take care clause of the Constitution has been thrown into the garbage bin, as if this sort of hesitation to spend money has never happened before in Washington, D.C. Why is the Trump administration doing this? Look, I don't know. I don't talk to the Trump administration every day. People have a multitude of reasons of doing what they do. But I can see what's going on and what is going to be going on, Mr. President, over the next 6 months to a year. Did I mention we're headed toward a multiple vehicle pileup?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. We've got to extend the tax cuts from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. We don't have a choice. Like it or hate it. If we don't extend those tax cuts, when they expire shortly, taxes are going to go up $4.3 trillion on the American people. Not 4.3 million, not 4.3 billion, $4.3 trillion. And 60% of that tax increase is going to impact middle class and lower income Americans. And that's just a natural fact. If we don't extend those tax cuts, it is going to drive our GDP and our economy on a journey to the center of the earth.
Facts.
Even my Democratic friends know those tax cuts have to be extended. But we've got other things we have to do too. We're deficit spending. We're spending money around here like it was pond water, like it was ditch water.
Talk about it.
Hold up the
Bring it up.
chart.
Oh, he got charts. He got the facts. They don't like that.
They
don't like that. John, they don't like that, Mr. Kennedy. Senator Kennedy, they don't like that, Senator Kennedy. Don't be bringing facts like that. Don't be showing them facts, bro. Show them the facts. Show them the facts.
It all on President Biden. But if the shoe fits, wear it, Cinderella.
Facts.
This is what President Biden spent. He didn't spend this from tax revenues. He borrowed it. $1.9 trillion on the American Rescue Plan. $1.2 trillion on the Green New Deal, which they called an Infrastructure Act. $1 trillion on the Inflation Reduction Act.
That's crazy. You see how they put Green New Scam Infrastructure Act?
Act, where we gave money to some of the biggest companies in America, big tech, because they said they needed it. We gave them $280 billion for semiconductor manufacturing. It was just announced yesterday, China just kicked our ass on artificial intelligence. I don't know if I can say ass on the Senate floor, but by God, I just did.
Yeah, he did.
They did. I don't know how else to describe it. After we spent $280 billion, I mean, this is just under President Biden, $4.380 trillion of money we didn't have. We are deficit spending every nanosecond. I don't know how many millions we have had to borrow since I've been talking. We're taking in about $4.5 trillion, give or take. We're spending about $6.5 trillion. And when we deficit spend, that money doesn't just fall from heaven. We thank heaven for it. But we have to borrow it, and we have to pay it back. And those annual deficits, daily deficits, monthly deficits, roll over into national debt, and we've now got $36 trillion worth of national debt. We're going to run out of digits. That's the most debt we've ever had, well over 100% of GDP. So we've got to renew the tax cuts, which is going to cause short-term, before it stimulates the economy, short-term loss of revenue, and we got to stop the deficit spending, and we got to reduce our debt. But there's more. There's more. We've got to increase defense spending, because President Xi is working with President Putin, who's working with the Ayatollah in Iran, and their goal is to have Putin dominate Eastern and Central Europe, to have Iran dominate the Middle East, have China dominate the Indo-Pacific and the South China Sea, and be free to roam in sub-Saharan Africa and Latin America and South America. I don't want America to be the world's policeman, but I don't want President Xi or President Putin or the Ayatollah in Iran to be the world's policeman either. And weakness invites the wolves. And we've got to start spending more money on defense.
Absolutely.
Now, you don't have to be Einstein's cousin to figure out that all the things that I just described that we've got to do in the next year to 6 months could be called competing interests. Tax cuts, stop deficit spending, reduce the debt, but find more money for defense. Something's got to give. And all this is a long-winded way of saying we're going to have to reduce spending. We're going to have to do it. The numbers are the numbers. Since 2019, the American population has grown 2%. We're not having babies. 2%. And that's after all the illegal immigration. You know what has happened to our budget? It's gone up 55%.
People can't afford to have kids.
I know we had a pandemic.
That's the thing. A lot of people are acting like oh, kids are not that expensive, and I'm like, no, at the end, not back to back. They're not. But as a whole, when you sit down and at the scheme of things, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that can't afford to get their kids new clothes and new shoes. It doesn't even have to be the Jordans. Regular just Walmart shoes. There's some parents that can't even afford that because it's the economy is not there. They're not getting paid shit, and everything costs a lot. And they're trying their best, and they're trying their best, and they're trying their best. And then, I mean, Elon has found money. Elon has found so much spending in the last 4 years that is ridiculous. And this was what, a month ago? So it's already taking place. This is actually 2 months ago. It's already in action. They're already finding so much money, and they're fixing what they're fixing. That's why I'm excited. A lot of people need to relax. Give it a full year before you start bitching. See how everything changes in a year before you start complaining. Because all these same people that are complaining and bitching are the same ones that are going to benefit from everything that he's doing. So, at the end of the day, we all win. So, I'm fine with that.
We had to save the economy. 2% growth in population, 55% increase in spending. Yeah, we've had inflation. We haven't had 55% worth of inflation. We're going to have to go to be able to afford tax cuts and more defense spending and to pay down deficits and to pay down debt. We're going to have to reduce spending to pre-pandemic levels.
And that's why everybody's getting pissed off, and people also getting upset because Trump is charging these motherfuckers terrorists. No, we're charging. We're taxing all you motherfuckers. They've been taking advantage. We're getting all that. You don't want a problem? Pay your terrorists and you good.
And that's what the OMB memorandum today, which temporarily held up the spending of some money consistent with President Trump's executive orders, was the first baby step.
At the end of the day, Trump is going to bring more money back into the country. Trump and Elon being pretty much finding the money. Them two being the stature they are, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, Trump has a whole bunch of failed businesses. And then my question to them is, how many millions do you have? It's just a question. Because if Trump is a bad businessman, I want to be a bad businessman just like that. That's what happens in business. Sometimes business doesn't fucking go well. If you've ever managed or anything, you understand how you have a small understanding how numbers work. And sometimes numbers just don't number. And sometimes you lose money. Sometimes you have to close shit down. Sometimes you got to do this. Sometimes that's the whole part of business. But to say that Donald Trump is broke, that doesn't know how to manage, or Elon Musk is broke and doesn't know how to manage money or anything like that, it's crazy. Are you nuts? These two are businessmen in their own right. They don't need to do this. And I'm gonna keep on saying that to the skies are blue. Elon Musk and Trump do not need to do this. They're doing it because they want to. They don't. Who didn't take a check when they were president? I'm just asking the question. Put it down below. Who didn't take a check? He said, "I got you." Trump don't need that shit. Trump got money. Elon got money. Now they're trying to find money to help us so they could give us money. And people want to bitch about it. Why are you bitching about them finding money? Like, billions of dollars to transgender operations in another country. Like, why are we funding that? Why are we funding half of these things that are in other countries? Why are we funding any of it? Does it make sense? All that money that we're spending, and then we still got veterans in the streets that can't fucking get a home. And I got a lot of that also. Oh, all the veterans are a whole bunch of alcoholics and da-da-da. I'm like, why do you think they like that? An action calls a reaction, bro. Like, it's going to happen. That doesn't mean that doesn't make him less of a human that needs the help. If help was more available, meaning more stations, more in every city, there's a lot more funding for buildings for people that are homeless, to get them a new lease on life, to help them, find a job and get their resume put together and find themselves a starter position somewhere and get them back in order and stuff like that. What with all the money they were sending to all those countries, why can't we build shit like that in every major city in this world, in this country? How much do you think that's gonna take? It ain't gonna be $1 trillion fucking dollars, I tell you that much. Our schools. How about funding our schools in our urban areas? These shitty ass schools with these shitty ass teachers that don't want to fucking do nothing. I have kids in school right now, trust me. I know. There's a lot of teachers that are wonderful that should get a pay raise. But there's a lot of teachers that don't give a fuck about these kids. How about putting a lot of that money, how about instead of sending $1 billion to another country so kids can learn how to play soccer, why don't you take that money and put it for the kids in this country and give them better fucking school in the urban areas? Better school structure, better pay for better teachers. Fire the cancer and hire in all the good teachers that really want to change things in schools for these kids. Some of these urban areas, hire more security in that fucking area. Get more cops involved into the schooling system. To control the gang violence and everything that's going on in school and shit like that. Put money into those programs. But you want to go send $20 billion to another fucking country for books to kids so they can learn how to deal with being transgender? Get the fuck out of here. All that money spent when you could use all of that to fix. There's a guy that did something on TikTok that I will never forget. And he broke it down easy math. He asked ChatGPT how much would it cost to end world hunger, to end homelessness, and for free medical. I think it is. It's free school, free medical, and hunger or something like that. I think it was those 3 things, and it came up to I think it was 2 point something trillion. And so far, in what they found of what we spent has been over 3 at some point, or over 3 or over 4. It was over 4, some shit like that, of shit that we already spent. So we already spent on shit that has nothing to do with us. We could have solved all this shit in this country already. This would have been already fixed a long time ago. But what's the problem? You'll have a president that puts a bunch of stuff into place in 4 years and fixes it. And you could see it. And then you have other presidents that come after those 4 years and say, all right, everything he did, stop all that shit. Stop all that shit because I want to do it this way. So something that's been working and all they had to do, this is what we call in the business of mechanic, you have fuck, I forgot the term. I've been out of work for a while. A self runner. The next person that comes up, you'll have a self runner. If you just implement or continue implementing everything that they put into place that was working and just let it ride, and then do your little, fix your little things. If you see you need to tweak things here and there, tweak things where you need to tweak things. But so sure enough, if the machine's working and it works, don't fucking fix it. You don't have to touch it. But then you will have these egotistical motherfuckers that will come in and be like, I'm going to change everything that he did. And then the country will go down to shit. And you know what they'll do? Oh, that's everything that Trump put 4 years ago. All that stuff that he put into place 4 years ago, this is why we're having it now. No, you fuck. We're having it now because everything that he put into place to fix it, you guys canceled. You guys said no. You guys said, get that shit out of here. We're not doing that. We're going to do it this way. To fatten the pockets of politicians and people over here to make money so everybody in your group could be rich. Because God forbid your money gets cut. Why are we paying these politicians millions of dollars a year? That makes no sense. But yet you're gonna go be paying these police officers $50,000 to $60,000 a year? The fuck out of here. Is that fair? No, it's not. And that's why I understand. That's why the political people and even some of the political media, I can understand that they are upset because of that. I get it. Your pockets are getting empty. I understand it. I understand why they lose their mind when they get up here, and why they try to discredit President Trump and all his people under his power. I understand. Their pockets are getting thin. Soon as your pockets start getting threatened, you're gonna start putting the defense up, and you don't even give a fuck if you make sense. You're so scared that your way of life is gonna eventually not exist anymore, that you're worried now. Now you're gonna throw shit at the wall to see if it sticks, because now you're panicking. Oh, panic, because you motherfuckers shouldn't be getting paid that much money anyway. All y'all do is sit there and read other people's shit and then judge, and then think about fuck out of here. You shouldn't be making that much money. Not saying that your job is not important, just saying that your job does not include doing anything that's worth getting paid millions or billions of dollars a year. Nothing that you do is going to be you should be getting paid that much. That's ridiculous. Nobody in the world needs that much money in one shot. One person? No. Nuts.
Consistent with President Trump's executive orders, was the first baby step toward. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. The world is not going to spin off its axis. And again, I support the Take Care Clause of the Constitution. I understand what the Empowerment Act says, but this is reality. And this is what we've got to solve over the next year.
Right.
And we're going to have to solve it. Show me that other chart. We're going to have to solve it together because the debt is $36 trillion.
36 trillion.
Our population is 355,000 people. That's 102 grand per man, woman, and child, and it's increasing. And we're about to extend the tax cuts and start spending more in defense. There's a lot of excitement around here about the reconciliation bill or bills. I'm excited about it. You can write this down, Mr. President, and take it home to mama. Those reconciliation bills, which we have got to pass to get through this multiple vehicle pileup that I just described, are going to contain substantial spending cuts. They are. Because you know what? If they don't, that reconciliation bill or bills will never pass the United States Senate. And I know it will not pass the United States House of Representatives. And then we will have failed to do what we told the American people that we were going to do, which is to get federal government right-sized, to try to put the high prices behind us by growing out of them, by stimulating the economy and increasing wages, by making energy cheaper, by paying down our debt. And that's what's going on. So I hope all the folks today will go home and take off their Batman t-shirts, wash them. They're probably a little sweaty. I hope everybody will go home. Those who drink, have a cocktail.
Yeah.
Take their meds.
Yeah.
And put this all in perspective.
Facts.
That's what that OMB memorandum was all about.
Facts.
And I'm going to say this one final time because maybe some members of the media are listening. I am not advocating to ignore the Constitution. And I am not advocating to
Sometimes
ignore
you got to do what you got to do
the
to fix it.
empowerment laws of this Congress. What I am saying is, if you don't believe we're going to have to cut spending substantially in order to get out of this mess that has been created, then you shouldn't be driving. Mr.
And that's just what it is. So like when I managed a auto parts store, and we were making, it was about a 1.2 to $2 million a year store. And when business is not booming, when we don't have our regular 30 to 35 cars a day, and we only see, like, let's say we have a week that every day we only see about 10 to 15 cars a day. Now we have to understand, all right, now what we spent last month, we can't spend this month because we're not going to be making nowhere near the money to cover what we spent last month. So we need to lay back on buying soap for the shop. We need to lay back on buying, things that we frivolous spend to go put around the shop for, like, air fresheners and toiletries and paper and a whole bunch of shit. And we used to pay to get the floor waxed every month, and because we got a lot of traffic, and it's a small spot, a lot of traffic, so we do it every month to make it look pretty, and do all that. That we have to cut back on that. We can't spend that. Don't come this month. We can't. We're not spending this month. You have to know how to do that. So even if you have to go away from some things in order to fix it, because if you keep on going by it, it's gonna get fucked. We're gonna be a whole lot worse. So we have to do the tax cuts. I just don't understand why people will fight that. My question is, if it makes sense to a stupid person like me, that I'm not a politician, I'm not in politics, I know nothing of politics like that. If it makes sense to me, then I don't understand why it's not making sense to other people. Just does it. It's right there. That is a debt per citizen, $102,000. If you guys want to be $102,000 in debt, then go ahead. But I doubt, now that they're doing the findings, I'm guaranteed that this has already been passed and everything's fine and dandy about it. But this is good to recap and to have the conversation. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck who is in office. I don't. But if there's somebody in office that wants to help and wants to fix this, to make my life, my kids' life, and my kids' life better, I'm all for it. 110% I'm going with it. If it makes sense, I'm going with it. Because the other side didn't really have a case. It didn't really fight a case. It kept on saying the same shit over and over again. And it was like, all right, well, you didn't answer the question on that one. Every time they asked Kamala anything, she took it as an opportunity to talk shit about Trump. And she didn't answer the question. Everybody like, look how strong she is. Fuck out of here. No, she's not. Because she's on camera talking shit about Trump. She didn't answer the question. But we're not looking at that. We're looking at whatever the fuck we are looking at, and whatever makes us feel better. Look, you know what feels good to me? Not having to worry about if my light's going to be cut off. That feels good. But also, as us citizens, no matter who you are, we also have to control some of our own spending. And if we just control our own spending, things, frivolous things that we don't need to spend money on, you'll be seeing a big difference on, oh shit, I actually have a little bit of money left over. It's surprising. I stopped doing frivolous spending 6 months ago. And by frivolous spending, I mean, like, I was a big, like, watch guy. Every time I saw a watch, I wanted to buy a watch. Or we like to go out to movies, and we like to go out to dinners and stuff like that. So we usually go, in a week, we go out probably 2 to 3 times a week. Or if we're going to go out, we'll order in. And we'll just, like, a lot of that spending. And then we sat down and we were like, oh my fucking God. Like, literally a week, we're spending $300 to $400 in food. And not even grocery food, like just eating out. Sometimes we eat out for lunch and then eat out for dinner. Sometimes, and we were like, all right, we need to stay back. We got on the health tip. We stood back. We started watching our spending. We were not spending a lot of money on a lot of bullshit food, fast food and stuff. Controlled it, and we started to see, oh shit, we're spending a lot because now I got a little extra money left over. here and there. So it feels good. So it's just, we got to control our own spending as well. Sometimes we got to check our finances and do some adjustments, because, I mean, it's not everybody else's problem that you're broke. and that's just I'm being 100%, 110%. If you are saving, if you have a savings, if you have a nest, some people are like, oh, I can't save. Even if you put $5 away, something is something. That 5 is going to turn into 10. That 10 is going to turn into 20. That 20 is going to turn into 30. And it's going to keep on going. Just forget about it and just let it do it. What I did, because I was that type of person too, like, I don't even have money enough to fucking put gas in my car. I don't have money to fucking save. So my wife said, you're not going to like this, but you're going to have to do this. And I went to my bank and I told my bank, I want this percentage to be taken out of my paycheck and put into savings. And I don't want a card for my savings. I don't want a debit. I don't want nothing. In order for me to take money out, I got to go in the bank to get that money out. She made it very difficult for me to try to take out that money. Because she was like, I know you're not going to go to the bank and wait in line and do that to pull money out. I know you're not going to do it. She's like, so you're not even going to think about it. That's going to come out of your check the minute it hits your account. She's like, you're not even going to see it taken off. And I was like, yeah, okay. And it wasn't much. It was only 3%. It was only 3%, which is not a lot of money. I didn't notice it. She was right. Absolutely didn't notice it. Up to the point where I forgot about it. And then now that I look, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I got a couple $100 in there. Like, holy shit, almost a stack. And then I just continue doing it. And that's my savings. I don't look at it. I just let it take out percentage when I get paid, and I don't think about it. And now I got money. If something happens, boom, I got backup. If I need something for the house, if I need something for the kids, if I need to go to the doctor's office, if I didn't do anything, boom, I got the money to do it. So being broke is, yes, a lot to do with the economy, but it has a lot to do with your own spending and your own lifestyle. So don't get that shit twisted. If you say, fuck, I'm broke, he's going to make me broker. You know what I hate when I hear? Fuck, I can't go to the club no more. I can't buy this and I can't buy that. I can't buy the new Jordans because these economy. Why are you worried about all that bullshit for? And that's the problem. Worry about me. I'm worried more about the whole fucking country. I'm worried about down the line what the fuck is going to happen to my kids. That's what I'm worried about. Those are my worries that I get. All right, man, I'm done, man. I love you guys. That's just the way I think. That's just the way I am, and I'm going to talk to you guys later. Senator John Kennedy, thank you, man, for being a real one. Keep it 100. Hold on, did he finish?
President, I yield the floor.
I love Senator John Kennedy. He is a real one, and that is a fact. I love you guys. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Peace.